My name's Jamie Cave. I'm part of the organizing team for this conference. I know, I apologize, it's a little over time. We've just started now. And so this session is obviously about Toshiko Tanaka and Reiko Tashiro, who hopefully anyone who's been watching today has already met this morning. The connection that I have with Toshiko-san and Reiko-san is I lived in Japan for several years in my youth, and through volunteer activities I met Reiko-san, and by extension I have had the pleasure to meet for the first time Toshiko-san, because she very generously traveled all the way from Japan to give an in-person testimony of her experiences as a atomic bomb survivor. This is a really unique, special opportunity that we don't have. There's not a lot of opportunity to hear first person from survivors of the atomic bombings in Hiroshima or Nagasaki. So yeah, I'm just very humbled and grateful to have them here. I just did want to mention that the Pacific Voices session was, we had a really overwhelming, great response online, and we had apparently lots and lots of hearts, and we've had 21 people in a hub in the Republic of the Marshall Islands listening in, and we've got lots of online speakers as well, so hello to you all. And so yeah, we've had a lot of great voices this morning, and we hope to continue on with this session and another one afterwards. So the session, I'm going to give the mic over to Toshiko-san and Reiko-san very shortly. They're going to give a presentation, and Toshiko-san will give her testimony, and then Reiko will talk about Toshiko-san's peace activities, which have briefly been introduced in this morning's session. And then Reiko-san will also give her experience and some thoughts about her being a second generation Hibakusha. Then what we're going to do is we're going to open up to Q&A for the audience. So please think about any questions you would like to ask Toshiko-san. We've got 5 minutes for her testimony, so she won't be able to cover everything that she might like to. So if you have any specific questions, please feel free to ask. It's a very unique opportunity. And then we have a little activity. You might have noticed there's pen, Sharpies and little sticky notes. Apologies for the online viewers. You can hopefully either use some of your own resources or just think about this, but we just are inviting you all to write either your thoughts or feelings or some impact, anything from the presentation. And then I have hopefully some of you have had a look in the art room we have next door. We're going to, if you're comfortable, put them in the art room so everyone can sort of share the experience for today. So yeah, I'm really happy now to hand the mic over to Toshiko-san. Thank you very much.
Kia ora. My name is Toshiko Tanaka. I survived the atomic bombing in Hiroshima on August 6, 1945, when I was 6 years old and on my way to school. At the location 2.3 kilometers from the hypocentre of the atomic bombing. At 8:15 a.m., somebody shouted, "B-29, the enemy bomber!" I looked up and saw a tremendous flash. I was burnt on my head, my neck, and my right arm. The pain was incredible. I was also exposed to radiation. I cried my way home, but our house was ruined. My mother could not recognize me. My hair was burned. I was covered in ash. My clothes were destroyed. Many doctors were dead. There are no hospitals left. Whether we lived or died was entirely up to one's physical vigor and luck. I remember going into the house and seeing through our largely damaged roof a small patch of blue sky. Although in pain, I thought it was so beautiful. That blue sky stayed with me. It had given me the will to live even until today. It took only 1 second for a single bomb to destroy the city of Hiroshima and 140,000 lives. All my classmates were killed. My young aunt left home that morning and never came back. In those days, the city of Hiroshima and the surface of the rivers which ran through the city were entirely covered by people's bodies. Every image of that terrible day remains. My generation will be the last to tell you about this event as direct witnesses. Nuclear weapons will lead the Earth to destruction. They are inhumane and should never have been allowed on Earth. I am an enamel mural artist, and through my career of over 50 years, I have appealed to the world to realize a peaceful world without nuclear weapons through my works, including Peace Ring. I know one day we will live in a nuclear-free world, and a beautiful blue sky will continue to shine above the heads of our future generation. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you. And I just would like to add that my mother's family used to live almost at the hypocentre of the atomic bombing. So that's 0.5 kilometers from the hypocentre. And they moved to the suburbs just 1 week before the bombing. So that's how she survived. However, these children, these are all the classmates of her kindergarten, none of them have been confirmed of their survival. That means maybe they're most likely that all these children are killed. And these are just a few of the innocent civilians who were killed in the bombing. So today, the average age of Hibakusha is over 84 years old, like my mother. And in the near future, we will not be able to hear directly from them as we do today. Toshiko has told her story all over the world in cooperation with various NGOs and grassroots movements. We would like to share some of these movements as she has been engaged in. So although Toshiko has incorporated her message for peace into her artworks for nearly 60 years, she had never actively shared her painful story until later in her life. When she was 70, she sailed around the world with Peace Boat. During the voyage, she visited and met with people, including those who suffer from wars, genocides and poverty, and also talked with the cabinet minister from Venezuela. And he told her If you don't speak up, who else could warn the world about nuclear weapons? Thus, Toshiko's peace activism started with her voyage. Peaceboat is a Japan-based international NGO working to promote peace, human rights, and sustainability. Since 2008, Peaceboat has carried out the Orizuru project, in which they regularly invite Hibakushas from Hiroshima and Nagasaki to travel on the ship to share their testimony. The organization is also one of the driving forces as part of the international campaign to abolish nuclear weapons, ICAN, awarded with the Nobel Peace Prize in 2017. Yeah, here's some pictures. And Hibakusha Stories is a US-based NGO whose mission is to pass the legacy of the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki to a new generation, empowering them to build a world free of nuclear weapons. Like Peaceboat, they are one of the driving forces of the United Nations adoption of the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, TPNW, in July 2017, and have been providing nuclear disarmament education, including art projects, mainly to students in New York area since 2008. Toshiko and many Hibakushas have collaborated over the years. According to their website, 32,000 students have participated in their education program to date. In 2012, the year after the Fukushima nuclear incident, Toshiko visited Chernobyl, Ukraine, wanting to find out the effects of the nuclear power plant accident in 1986. During the trip, she met with people who had been displaced from the area and learned the lasting effect of the nuclear radiation. Toshiko was recently reunited online with one of the people she met in Ukraine in 2012, who are now under the threat by the Russian invasion. She urged Toshiko, if you have to keep on telling your story to the world, especially to Russia. Last month, Toshiko was invited to tell her story on a Russian YouTube channel, which was now viewed by 2.5 million people. Since I was a child, I grew up watching my mother create artworks with wishes for peace. Helping to coordinate her testimony overseas, I have met many people who are striving for nuclear abolition. As a second-generation Hibakusha, I have the two mixed feelings, a sense of hesitation and responsibility. I think this sense of hesitation is shared by many second-generation Hibakushas who are not the direct witness of the atomic bombing. There's a fear of talking about what we have not experienced, even feeling unqualified to do so. At the same time, we feel strongly that we must continue to pass on Hibakusha's stories to the world. I myself have not found how to fulfill my role yet, but I think it is important to connect and have dialogue with people like you, to speak up when the opportunity arises, and most importantly, to pass the story on to the next generation. While the world is divided, I am aware that many hopeful movements are coming from the youth. In fact, those people I met from ICAN at the 2017 Nobel Peace Prize award ceremony in Oslo were very young people, probably in their 30s, I think. So I would just like to introduce some of the youth activities that I feel close to and support. So Peace Culture Village is a Hiroshima-based youth-oriented NPO that conducts peace education program for young people and also trains the next generation of change-make leaders. They developed an application They developed the application using augmented reality, AR technology, and users can now recreate a virtual Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park and see how people's life and street looked like before and after the atomic bombing. Tapping on the map, Toshiko appears as a hologram, and users can hear her story and thoughts. Isn't that great? Yeah, it's amazing. And many young people from around the world visit Toshiko's Peace Exchange space. Many of them take the current issues very seriously and feel responsible for the better world. One exchange student from Cambodia, whose parents were survivors of the genocide committed by the Pol Pot regime, commented after hearing Toshiko's story. Since the pandemic, I have lost my purpose in life and felt like I don't belong anywhere. But after hearing Toshiko's story, I have decided to take up the work of bringing peace and tell the stories of my parents to the future generation.
I have interacted with people from many countries and noticed that despite their economic development, there are always wars somewhere in the global north. On the contrary, people in the global south have been working for peace since early on. One of the examples is the Treaty of Tlatelolco, which was signed in 1967 in Mexico. As the first treaty to prohibit nuclear weapons in the region, I believe that the young people of the Southern Hemisphere would be the ones who will bring us a nuclear-free world from under the Southern Cross. I have much expectations for this conference. Finally, I would like to leave you with a short Japanese haiku poem. I am here today for a nuclear-free world. Friends at Southern Cross. Thank you.